Before his big break hit, Fist of the North Star, a young Gary Daniels hit Southeast Asia for a 1988 Philippines jungle action adventure called The Secret of King Mahi's Island. Daniels plays the lead heroic role of a bearded young adventurer named Chuck. No, not Chuck Norris, although the name and beard may well have been Gary Daniels' own little homage to the movie martial arts legend. And it was of course just 2 years earlier that Norris himself delivered his own light-hearted jungle action adventure role, The Firewalker. Here Gary Daniels' young buck Chuck has to contend with a local bad guy and his lead henchman Tony, played by co-writer and stand-in director Jim Gaines. A highly recognisable face of 80s and 90s low-budget fun action films, working in and around the Philippines at the time for the likes of Bruno Mattei, Antonio Margheriti and Teddy Page. His character Tony is sent out by his boss with some other goons to push around a local who owes him and is believed to have a treasure map. Things get heavy-handed when the guy refuses to hand over the parchment, and it gets him killed. His young son Joe and older niece Leia witness the murder, but manage to escape the clutches of Tony and his men, just as the dying man Vince hands the concealed map to Leia, and together she and Joe run off to find Chuck. After their reunion, Chuck and his pals are fighting off the bad guys at a bamboo and grass bar and flee by a nearby small rickety raft with Tony and thugs in pursuit. Chuck takes charge, and together with both Leia and Joe and his small crew of good buddies, they all go a-treasure hunting. The road to riches is of course paved with danger as they head on into the jungle and soon find themselves fending off spear and knife-wielding indigenous natives and facing first-hand tribal rituals, torture and capture. Tony and his treasure map-seeking goons are ever hot on their heels too, and so follows a dangerous trek through the beautifully shot jungle backdrop, ever forward to more danger along the way as they get to the volcanic rockside mountain of King Mahi's Island, where they soon discover all kinds of traps. Gary Daniels is not one to chuck it all in though, and thinks nothing of balancing up atop a high rope ladder across a ravine, squaring up to snakes and dodging collapsing caves as rocks fall all around. A trigger-happy standoff and a good old dose of jungle hutsploitation, not to mention regular sight of a real helicopter, which is always a good sign of a reasonably decent film budget, which allows the secret of King Mahi's Island to move along at a good pace and throw out enough action and excitement to keep the B-movie action, a matinee movie loving audience more than happily entertained throughout. It's Indiana Daniels and the Temple of B-moviedom. A better than average 5.5 out of 10 slice of jungle action hokum and a neat little 80s low budget treasure to uncover here if you can. As for the mysterious one-time listed director credited as Leonard Hayes, it is quite likely that it is in fact none other than Teddy Page, aka Irvin Johnson, who stepped in to help out his buddy Jim Gaines. After all, that same year, back in 1988, shooting in the Philippines around the same time, Irvin Johnson was bringing us his superlative jungle action thriller goodness that is Phantom Soldiers, as well as Jungle Rats, both of which Jim Gaines also appeared in for him, and and another called Final Reprisal, that may come as no surprise to learn that Irvin Johnson directed both Jim Gaines and Gary Daniels in this one. The 1988 connection seems quite likely. Whatever the truth, to be told, we as B-movie jungle action loving fans are the winners here. So who gives a chuck? Well, Gary Daniels' character Chuck sure does, as he and all involved sure seemed to be having fun with the secret of King Mahi's Island. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Well, I guess our gold hunting days are over for a while.